about a good third of this country will not recognize him as being legitimate, and I'm one of them. I don't trust the electoral system any longer. That's the problem. It's been so many times. Project Veritas, multiple videos exposing, doing the awesome work they do, exposing all the fraud. It's already admitted. It's already been going on, and so that's the problem. And that's what happens when you're trying to attack a country and destroy it from within. You make sure that everyone questions the legitimacy of their government and the system. And so they win, in a way they win even when it's us not trusting the results. So either way you want to be the destabilized country. But no, I can't concede that to Biden. I think it's going to be stolen. I think Trump will beat him soundly unless it's stolen. And so you're gonna wind up with very much like 1861 with half the country not trusting the results either way it goes. That's where we're at. But the big picture behind that is this massive ideological division in this country. The left has gone full Marxist. The Democratic Party is now the party of communism. That's what they are. And it's a party of totalitarianism. Someone like Biden, of course, is an old school corrupt Democrat. He's not, same category as some of the new true believer leftists, but he'll be controlled by them. He's only a puppet. And so we're going to see a full court press to lock down this country and impose.
That's right. He's fully endorsed Bernie Sanders and AOC and all these other pieces of filth.
Sure, because he's riding their wave. It's a wave of communism on the left and a wave of populism and nationalism on the right. Those are two competing, clashing visions for this country, and they're irreconcilable.
Well, let's talk about military rules of engagement. I'm not going to do it. You're there defensively, bringing resources, in to defend the president. That's the point we've gotten to. But if they have terror groups with RPGs attacking governors' mansions and capitals to create fear, obviously law enforcement needs to just take matters in their own hands. The citizens at a certain point are going to have to talk about this, only 6 days out from this. If, let's say, Antifa will take credit, but it'll be some globalist operatives, kill some governors, blow up some stuff, blow up some conservative news publications to scare everybody to submission, you don't actually go out and try to find the people with the RPGs and attack that disappeared. No, you go after their commanders, who are the Democrats that have openly aligned themselves with the Chi-Coms. Now, I'm not calling for that. I'm just saying militarily, chasing the terrorist around is not what you do. You go after their commanders. But again, we don't have any command and control to go after their commanders.
Well, you do both. You have to have a stability program where you defend your communities. That can be done by the average Joe. And then the more well-trained veterans, like your special warfare trained veterans, it should be them. That should be their task, is go after the command and control of the bad guys. And that goes way up the ladder, So if this blows up into a civil war, you will bet that our side will not just go and fight their street soldiers. We will go for their command and control also. That's a smart thing to do in warfare. That's what's going to happen. And I think you're going to see that. We've had recent discussions with guys that are special warfare veterans and also current serving, and they're paying very much attention to what's going on, and quite a few of them are waking up. And so it's not going to be an easy fight for the radical left. They're going to get swamped with very competent, battle-hardened veterans on our side.
But just quantify them. We're going to some calls. This time in history, we've never faced something like this since our founding. I mean, I think even the Civil War was less of a threat than this is right now. What do you think?
Well, this is much more like the American Revolution, the first one. That was our first Civil War, because it was a split in families. Like Ben Franklin and his own son were estranged. This is an ideological split, much like that was. And also, of course, it's a civil war because you have sitting politicians who are part of the enemy's ranks. They're in line with the radical.
So we're just totally infiltrated. It's all mixed together.
Right, it's all mixed together. And so, but the good news for us, though, is we have 14 million veterans, I believe, at least. A massive pool of combat veterans who are awake and aware. And as you said earlier, you've got the walkaway movement now. You've got people walking away from the Democratic Party. The danger for us, though, is that they're going to create so much instability that people will turn to the military, and the military will be seen as the saviors when all you're doing is jumping from the frying pan into the fire. You do not want a military dictatorship in this country. And so people have got to make sure that we run a stability campaign in our own communities to make sure that we keep the lid on things so it doesn't spiral out of control, so you don't get generals that then pop up and claim to be the saviors when all they do is usher you into the destruction of the Constitution. So it's important for us, all you veterans out there, you got to stand up and stand watch and lead your local community in watching over their own backyards, over their own neighborhoods, their own town. And so bad guys, of course, they'll manipulate you through fear. That's the big one, fear and hatred. So if we can keep a lid on the violence in our communities and stop them from creating the chaos that they want and they need, then we'll have a better chance of coming through this with an intact constitution. But be careful, though. I mean, the false choice has been given before. Look at Germany. To stop the communists, everyone leaped into the arms of Hitler. And so I want to make sure that people understand that you have to make sure you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I agree.
Well, sure, they want to get rid of him no matter what because they see that this is a risk for them. They could be exposed. And so that's why you should expose them. Just do the data dump, do it now, drain the swamp. That is the swamp water, all the dirty secrets. Just drain it. Do it all in one fell swoop, and they'll be left laying out in the sun, naked and exposed. We'll all be able to see who's who, and then after that, it'll be on. They'll be hunted down, by us, by the people.